His time at Eielson, Chief Spilinek served as the superintendent for the 354th Security Forces Squadron and the 354th Communications Squadron, advising numerous commanders on matters of force utilization, morale, welfare, and quality of life issues. Some of Chief Spilinek's accomplishments encompass 6 professional military education awards, including 2 John L. Levitt Awards. Chief Spilinek was honored as First Sergeant of the Year 4 times between 2000 and 2006. Additionally, he served as the Chief Enlisted Manager for the United States Air Force Honor Guard. For a more complete view of Chief Spilinek's career, please view our graduation program. Now, without further delay, let's please give him a warm round of applause. Chief Master Sergeant Bradley Spilinek.
Sergeant Johnson, I think there's a mistake. Sergeant LaBrie was the guest speaker. Kevin, always remember, you mess with the bull, you're going to get the horn. Good evening, Colonel Honorwood, Chief Brown, Mrs. Brown, Chief Hunt, Mrs. Hunt, fellow chiefs, first sergeants, commanders, supervisors, family members, and especially graduates of Class 14-03. Also a special welcome and thanks to my spouse, Dana. Her attendance tonight wasn't necessarily my idea, but she insisted. You see, this morning I had my final out processing for retirement. As you can imagine, after 30 years of service, I have a lot on my mind. Therefore, Dana was a bit concerned about what I might say tonight, so she felt a responsibility. She's done a great job of keeping me out of trouble for the past 10 years, so I'm sure everything's going to turn out just fine tonight. As I make the transition to retirement, there are many things I will miss. Interacting with PME students is at the top of the list. Over the years, I've enjoyed the senior NCO, first sergeant, and chief panels. I've also enjoyed the good-natured rivalry that we've shared on the volleyball court. 14 years I've been on the first sergeant and chief side of the net. I've seen our side win an overwhelming majority of the games. I think the reason for this is that the students simply underestimate the power of age and experience. The following story really illustrates this advantage. A wealthy old lady decides to go on a photo safari to Africa, taking her faithful aged poodle named Cuddles along for the company. One day the poodle starts chasing butterflies, and before long Cuddles discovers that he's lost. Wandering about, he notices a leopard heading directly towards him with the intention of having lunch. The old poodle thinks, uh-oh, I'm in deep doo-doo now. Noticing some bones on the ground close by, he immediately settles down to chew on the bones with his back to the approaching cat. Just as the leopard is about to leap on the poodle exclaims loudly, "Boy, that was one delicious leopard. I wonder if there are any more around here." Hearing this, the young leopard halts his attack in mid-strike. A look of terror comes over him, and he slinks away into the trees. "Whew," says the leopard, "that was close. That old poodle nearly had me." Meanwhile, a monkey who had been watching the whole scene from a nearby tree figures he can put his knowledge to good use and trade it for protection from the leopard. So off he goes. But the old poodle sees him heading off after the leopard with great speed and figures that something must be up. The monkey soon catches up with the leopard, spills the beans, and strikes a deal for himself with the leopard. The young leopard is furious at being made a fool of and says, "Here, monkey, hop on my back and see what's going to happen to that conniving canine." Now the old poodle sees the leopard coming with the monkey on his back and thinks, "What am I going to do now?" But instead of running, the dog sits down with his back to the attackers, pretending he hasn't seen them yet. And just when they get close enough to hear, the poodle says, "Where's that damn monkey? I sent him off an hour ago to bring me another leopard." Moral of this story, age and treachery will always overcome youth and skill. So thank you, Sergeant Johnson, for providing us old poodles another serving of leopard. Over the years, I've had the honor of mentoring many airmen, and I'm often asked what I consider to be the key elements of having a successful Air Force career. A successful career does not necessarily mean rising to the rank of chief or even general. In fact, there are many ways to define a successful career. I believe that if you are able to look back on your career with a sense of satisfaction and with few regrets, then you have had a successful career. To help assure your success, the advice I offer is to treat your career with a great deal of TLC. You heard that right, TLC. Now, I know many of you are thinking in your minds, what the heck is he talking about? Tender, loving care? That's not it. I have a different version of TLC. Timing, luck, and courage. Just like Cuddles the Poodle, I've relied on timing, luck, and courage to always keep me one step ahead. Timing means being prepared. Your success depends upon you being ready for whatever challenge comes your way. AFI 362618, the enlisted force structure, places emphasis on preparation. It states both airmen and NCOs will maintain the highest level of readiness to meet mission requirements. The highest level of readiness means completing training at the earliest opportunity. If you have not yet done so, complete your CCAF degree as soon as possible. Many opportunities, such as special duty, require a CCAF degree. And most of those opportunities will pop up with very short notice with little time to prepare. Tech Sergeants, as soon as you are eligible, enroll in and complete your Senior NCO PME correspondence course. As with your CCAF, Senior NCO PME completion is a requirement for advancement. Always take advantage of additional training and professional development opportunities. If there is a certification available in your FSC, get it done. Never put off the opportunity to prepare. Yes, sometimes there are other events that demand your attention, but usually there is no time like the present to get started on a training or education opportunity. You never know what challenge you may face with little or no notice. I'd like to share with you two of my own experiences about being prepared. In May 1986, I was an Airman First Class security policeman on patrol through base housing when a call came across the radio about a 911 dispatch to a woman in labor. Another SP was dispatched, but I happened to be only a few blocks away, so I volunteered to respond. I met the nervous husband at the front door. He said that he hoped the ambulance would hurry because this was to be their 5th child, so the baby might not be too willing to wait. In an effort to calm him, I told him that I'd taken an emergency medical technician course prior to joining the Air Force, so I was sure I could handle the situation. We both laughed. His wife did not laugh. In fact, she yelled, and I will never forget what she said. "Get in here now, the baby is coming." I stepped in and immediately confirmed that there was no way this baby was going to wait for the ambulance. I had just enough time to wash my hands, grab some clean towels. All those hours of emergency childbirth training paid off as I successfully delivered the baby. This experience illustrates the fact that you never know which of your skills might be needed with little or no warning. Now let me share another personal story with you that almost had a very different outcome. On March 11th, 2009, I received a call from the office of the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force letting me know that our very first Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, Chief Master Sergeant Paul Airy, had passed away. The reason for the call was to let me know that Chief Airy's final wishes were to be buried in Arlington National Cemetery. A feeling of loss washed over me as I knew that this was a sad day for our Air Force, and I felt it personally as I was well acquainted with Chief Airy. This feeling was soon overcome by a sense of panic as I realized that as Chief Enlisted Manager of the Air Force Honor Guard, I would have the opportunity to lead Chief Airy's full honors funeral ceremony in Arlington National Cemetery. There was one problem. I had only been with the Honor Guard for a short amount of time, so I had not yet received my full honors funeral qualification. The responsibility of leading a full honors funeral requires a great deal of training and practice. Although I had been working on the qualification, competing priorities made it difficult to complete the qualification. As it turned out, the family chose to schedule Chief Airy's funeral honors in Arlington for the end of May. In that 12 weeks' time, I completed the qualification and had several full honors funerals. I had already led several full honors funerals. The experience of leading Chief Airy's funeral honors is one I will always treasure, but it still bothers me to think of how close I came to missing the opportunity. I vowed not to allow the same thing to happen to my successor, so my commander and I implemented a policy that incoming Honor Guard leadership would first complete the full honors funeral qualifications before being allowed to assume their positions. We helped guarantee the success of future Honor Guard leaders by ensuring they would be prepared for similar opportunities. Those two examples illustrate the importance of timing. That is, being prepared when situations or opportunities arise. Some people might call that luck, which is the second part of my version of TLC. Many people said it was lucky that I happened to be the SP on scene that day, since I had the training to deliver a baby. Even luckier for me was the fact this incident occurred just 2 weeks before I met the BTZ board. So what is luck? A saying often attributed to the Roman philosopher Seneca states, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. In that sense, we can actually increase our odds of being lucky by being proactive in seeking opportunities to improve our performance and abilities. In the Air Force, we spend a great deal of time training and preparing. Your attendance at PME over the past few weeks is part of the preparation process for being a good leader. You have been given a basic set of tools to use when leadership opportunities arise. Some challenges will be easy, but others will be much more complex. You never know what situation you will face next, but you will seldom get a chance for a do-over. When the time comes, we want you to be prepared. We often hear stories of people succeeding in the face of adversity because they are prepared. We may call them heroes, but it's common for them to brush off the praise and claim they were just doing their job. We have all heard the story of Chesley Sully Sullenberger, the U.S. Airways pilot who in January 2009 executed the perfect emergency landing in the Hudson River, successfully saving the lives of 155 passengers and crew. Captain Sullenberger was immediately hailed as a national hero, but he shyly remarked that he was doing his job. Yes, but it was a job he had been doing since he was 16 when he first learned to fly. He later attended the Air Force Academy and then served as an F-4 pilot before becoming a commercial airline pilot. He was more than ready when his preparation met with opportunity. In an interview after the incident, he stated, "One way of looking at this might be that for 42 years, I've been making small, regular deposits in this bank of experience, education, and training. And on January 15th, the balance was sufficient so that I could make a very large withdrawal." Take advantage of every chance you have to build your experience, education, and training account, because you never know how much you will need to withdraw when the need arises. Now imagine you have a full account and you're faced with a particularly difficult situation. Are you willing to step up and put your savings on the line? It all depends on the third element of TLC, courage. Since some circumstances are easy to manage, but others can be life-changing or even life-threatening events that require a great deal of courage. As a leader, you cannot be afraid to act. Have you ever been in a group situation where someone has said, or perhaps you even thought, someone should do something, but no one steps forward to do anything? Studies on crowd behavior offer various theories on why people in groups fail to act when action is clearly needed. As a leader, you cannot hesitate to be the one to step forward. One of my favorite quotes is attributed to a first-century scholar named Hillel. Hillel posed a question: if not you, then who? If not now, then when? Those of us in uniform tonight have already asked ourselves this question at least once in our lifetime. We have been a volunteer military since the last man was drafted in December 1972. We need volunteers to serve. Now, you may not have actually heard those words in your head, but you certainly felt the nature of this call. We need volunteers to serve our country. If not you, then who? And here you are. Your success depends upon your ability to respond decisively each time you sense the call. If not you, then who? Who will be the NCO to step up and give the airmen the tough, honest feedback about their performance? Who will be the subordinate that will tactfully advise his or her superior about something they might not want to hear, but is something they need to hear in order to improve a situation or save a mission? It will not always be easy to answer the call. All of us at one point have heard the advice, never volunteer for anything. But I can tell you that if I had followed that advice, my career would not have gone nearly as far as it has today. In my experiences, opportunities often have the smell of hard work, and unfortunately that frightens many people away. Part of the secret to my success has been to step outside of my comfort zone and respond affirmatively to the call. Sometimes it was in the form of leading a project, such as a wing enlisted dining out. Senior NCOs, we need a volunteer to lead our first ever enlisted dining out. And I thought, If not you, then who? Hard work, yes, but the richest personal rewards come from accomplishing a task that is a bit beyond our reach. If not now, then when? Many opportunities are fleeting, and you won't get a second chance. Life is too short to live with regret of an opportunity passed by. As they say, if you snooze, you'll lose. Sometimes the situation is dire, and consequences life-threatening. We don't have to dig too far to find enlisted Air Force heroes that responded to those questions and realized it was on them at that moment to take action. If not for John Levitto's decisive actions, who would have thrown themselves upon the flare as he did to save the aircraft and crew? We know there were 4 enlisted aircrew on the AC-47 that fateful night, yet John Levitto was the one who responded to the call. John Levitto, if not you, then who? If not now, then when? Countless airmen have heard and answered the call over the years. It is their preparedness and courage that made the difference. You may never find yourself in a position where your actions will lead to the Medal of Honor, but your day-to-day behaviors will determine your level of success in the years ahead. Thank you for allowing me to share my own version of TLC with you tonight. Class 1403, may you always have the timing, luck, and courage to be successful in your life and career.
Thank you, Chief Master Sergeant Spilinek. On behalf of Class 14-3, a commemorative brick paver was established in your honor and will forever be a part of the Enlisted Heritage Hall at Gunner Annex, Alabama.